There are games that have stood the test of time and that everyone has heard of. There are games that are considered so influential that they have created whole genres on their own. And there are games that have come out even in a yearly basis, and we see advertisements of them all over the place. But what about the games that have come out and no one really talks about? What about games that are good but just never had the spotlight shine on them? Or just came out at a bad time and got overlooked? What about those little gems you have never heard of? Moonscars is an action-adventure 2D platformer that mixes the Metroidvania style of combat and exploration with roguelike level-up mechanics, along with Souls-like mechanics. It came out on September 27th, 2022, and it is honestly stunning. The art features a 16-bit ghost-decaying nightmare. Or, well, dream, I guess. Everything around you is dead under the night sky. The game is dark, it's gritty, it's all according to the story that the developers were trying to tell. The use of dark tones and layered backgrounds sometimes makes you feel lost on the screen itself. And there are times where you need to make an effort to even keep track of your character. This was an artistic choice. It may not be for everyone, however. But if you are willing to look past this, the game has a very deep story with challenging gameplay. Well, yes, 2D pixel art action-adventure Metroidvania Souls-like sounds like the tags in every other indie game out there. Moonscars excels at what it does. The game has tight control, very easy to pick up, yet very, very difficult to master. At first, facing one enemy at a time will not feel difficult. However, as soon as there is more than two on screen, all hell breaks loose. You will feel like you need to devote all your attention to every single fight. And this creates a weird, yet very intense connection with every single encounter that you face. The game is punishing if you make too many mistakes. However, it will reward you with an infinitely rechargeable healing feature. If you're good enough, that is, of course. You see, the only way to recharge your mana, which is used for both spells and healing, is by hitting the enemies. Which means that if you left a fight with only 1 HP, you will have no other choice than get back in there and gather some mana to heal up. There are plenty of different types of enemies that require you to approach them differently. Some ground enemies, some others have shields that you need to get behind, or even flying enemies and so on. The enemy design is very creative in that regard, and they mix it up enough by throwing you different enemies that fighting never really feels monotonous. Along your basic tools of survival, you have a dash to dodge enemies, you have a heavy weapon that you can choose from, and you also have a parry function, which is crucial for this game. If you die, you will need to go back and pick up your clay, which is the currency that this game uses. It's the equivalent to souls. You will use this to level up spells or buy items. There are also an item called glands that work as humanities in Dark Souls. When you die, your gland gets used up and you will be cursed by the moon hunger. This will make enemies harder to kill and will lower your maximum HP. You can get rid of moon hunger, but you would need to use up your glands. However, there is a limited number of them in the overworld, so you need to either be very careful or simply get good. There is another leveling system, which is the spite level. As you kill enemies, aside from getting clay, you will get spite, which will fill up an EXP bar. Every time you level up, you will gain a level and a potential trait, such as more crit chance, instant clay recovery after death, less cost on magic, etc. What gives this a roguelike feeling is that upon leveling up, you get random options that you will lose and they will reset upon dying or using the mirrors in the overworld. I'm not really going to talk about story in this video because I feel like it is something that you actually need to experience, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, which is why I'm only using footage from the first part of the game. I will say, however, that the story is very dark and comes across as very cryptic. So if you're looking for Witcher levels of storytelling, I'm sorry, but this is not the place for you. I do think, however, that the story is interesting enough to keep you on your toes though. As every single Metroidvania, the map design is amazing. It feels like a proper maze of interconnected tunnels that look difficult to navigate, but progression is properly laid out, and you will most likely never get lost. I know I never did. The game also features a teleport system, which you have access to super early in the game, so you should never have much trouble. As every good Souls-like game does, the boss fight design is the most important part, and in this case, it is next level. You see, I spent over 2 hours dying over and over again to the first boss, doing my best to memorize patterns and execute at the best of my abilities. And honestly, I'm not good at this game. I got frustrated, I got annoyed, but I didn't get frustrated at the game. I got frustrated and annoyed at myself because I was the one messing up. And after finally beating it, it was extremely satisfying. And mind you, this was only the first boss. I feel confident recommending Moonscars to people because it is a game that came out of the blue for me. I had never even seen a trailer of it, yet it completely charmed me. It made me feel invested in the story, amazed at the art, and most importantly, it made me feel accomplished. It made me feel something not many games nowadays can, through its sheer gameplay. I'm not saying difficulty is what makes a game good. This game is difficult, and difficulty is definitely something that can make or break a video game experience. However, I feel that this game is the right amount of difficult, and it's paired with beautiful map design. This is why I give Moonscars an 8 out of 10. So do yourself a favor and give Moonscars a go. It is certainly a gem you have probably never heard of. Yo, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me, have you ever played Moonscars? Did you enjoy it? What other hidden gems should I review? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. See you next time.